maybe it will be Iowa State, as both of these teams meet tonight, and both of these teams part of a four-way tie for first place atop the league 6 games in. This will be a lot of fun to chronicle it the rest of the way. Hi again, everyone. I am Bob Wischusen here with Franford Phillip, and Holly Rowe will join us in just a moment. Just heard Jay Will say it. He thinks this might be the year that Kansas goes down. He thinks Iowa State might be the team that can get it done. If there's one team, since Bill Self took over here in Lawrence, that seems to have the formula to beat Kansas, it is the Cyclones.
And this year the formula is even better because they're the most equipped on both ends of the floor, offense and defense, to beat Kansas and potentially win this title. And that's what I like about them. Efficient on offense, and they've already got a big-time win over the Jayhawks in Ames.
And Holly, 2 freshman point guards to watch tonight. It'll be a fun matchup.
That's right, and one of the things that led to that upset in Ames was turnovers. 24 turnovers, a season high for Kansas. One of the things that Bill Self worked on practice last night was composure, poise. Most importantly, they're coming off a loss to West Virginia where with the final 8 seconds left of that game, they did not handle it well. So there was 8 seconds on the shot clock at practice last night, and his team didn't leave the court until they got a good possession, came down and got a basket. He wants them to know how to close out teams, close out games with precision and poise. That will be crucial tonight against Iowa State.
And Fran, you've been running through the players you think are the biggest impact transfers in the Big 12 so far this season. We have 3 of them on the floor tonight going head-to-head.
And if those Kansas freshman guards want to play well, they ought to get the ball to Dedrick Lawson, who right now, along with Mariel Shayok and Jared Culver, leading candidate for Big 12 Player of the Year.
With Bill Self on the sidelines of KU, only one team has swept the season series. Oklahoma State last year. Can Iowa State do it this year? We're about to find out. Under Bill Self, Kansas has never lost at home on Big Monday, 27-0. It is a cauldron that teams walk into here at the Phog. Shot clock winding down for Shayok on the first possession of the game. He's going to go one-on-one with Lawson and miss everything with that grip.
What you're going to see from both teams tonight, and this is unusual, 8 guards on the floor. That time on the switch, Shayok could not go by Kansas's center, Lawson. Both teams will switch at all 4 guard spots.
Gerald Vick will drive it and score. Just think about how impactful this game could be as you think about the Big 12 race. They talk about divisional games in football as Horton-Tucker gets Iowa State on the board as being the most important. Well, now all you play are divisional or conference games the rest of the way now that we're in conference play.
Yes, and the team that wins tonight is going to feel like they won 2 games because they not only get the win, they hang another loss on a team they're fighting for at the top of the conference.
Running the rim and laying it in, Michael Jacobson to give Iowa State the lead.
That's got to be a concern. They ran Kansas in Ames. They shouldn't be able to run them in here if Kansas has energy and juice on the defensive end.
Spin move by Garrett. And Marcus Garrett can't hit. Offensive rebound and a step back for Lawson.
Garrett's become much more aggressive on the offensive end. And even though he missed it, he gave Lawson a chance to sneak in on the backside.
Shayok sets up Jacobson. Rolls it home.
He's money. He makes 53% of his mid-range twos. He's confident in that shot.
Grimes along 2. Jacobson's got the rebound. Jayhawks across the lane. And Lawson's outlet finds Dotson. Lawson for three. Yes.
Not his strength, but it gives him a dimension that they don't enjoy often when he's making it because he's such a threat inside as well. Got to account for that if he's on.
Offensive foul called on Taylor Horton-Tucker.
What a job Steve Prohm has done. He's almost done the impossible, and that is replacing the mayor of Ames, Fred Hoiberg.
Dotson accelerates. Offensive rebound, Lawson comes up short. Jayhawks will drive it, and he'll finish plus the foul.
Great basketball right there. The way to attack 4-out switching is to use your big man to screen and create indecision. And Lawson wasn't sure whether to stay with, look at him, he's confused. Stay with Jacobson, stop the drive. You have to do that, Bob. Both teams are going to have to use their big men to create opportunities for those guards to drive.
How surprising do you think it is that Jayhawks is this good this season? Number one in the league in scoring.
He spent we watched him last year when we went up to Ames. He is a workaholic. He's already got his degree. He spent this entire last 12 months working on his game.
Looks like Jacobson will get tags for the foul. Talking to Steve Prohm about Marial Jayhawks earlier today, he said obviously his work ethic is off the charts, but the DNA of that UVA program that he came from certainly carried over, but he has exploded offensively. And this is a guy that couldn't even start and average more than 9 points a game at Virginia.
No question, Bob. Think about this crazy stat. He played 103 games at Virginia. He had one 20-point game. He's got 9 now. 9 in 18 games. He loved his experience at Virginia. He just wasn't the focal point of their offense.
Now he looks like a pro.
There's about 20 scouts here tonight, so he'll get the opportunity to prove it.
Horton-Tucker straight away. It's a three.
Now the other component we have early in this game, 4 freshman guards, 2 for each team. How well will the freshmen handle the spotlight?
Here's one of those freshmen, Devon Dotson. He is like lightning, but he comes up short with the left-handed flip. Jayhawks pulls the trigger. Long rebound out to Weiler-Babb. Horton-Tucker in and out.
You can tell Iowa State does not mind playing fast.
Lawson lost it to Jayhawks. Jayhawks goes past Garrett, lays it in with the left hand, and extends the Iowa State lead.
They're running like they did in Ames. That's a good sign for Steve Prohm.
An 8-0 run, and the Cyclones doubling up the Jayhawks. Dotson allows Lawson to seal on the baseline.
Great delivery, and remember, Jacobs has got one. He's got to be careful. Lawson is really tough with that spin move on the baseline.
Halliburton will drive it. Float one up.
This kid's invaluable. He's playing 35 minutes a game as a freshman. He kills you softly.
Nice crossover by Vic. Wild shot won't go. Another offensive rebound for Dedrick Lawson. He's already got 9.
Well, and Jacobson doesn't want that second foul, so Cam Lard, who was the starting center last year, is off the bench and at the scorer's table.
And Lindell Wigginton, the leading returning scorer in the Big 12, is at the table as well, as Jayhawks is off the mark. Grimes for three. It's like a hockey game.
Absolutely.
We're looking for a line change. Can't get a whistle.
A lot of skill on the court, especially on the perimeter. Oh, he traveled. Thought he got away with it.
A turnover anyway. Grimes will drive it. Float one up, and that's off the mark.
This kid with the ball, Horton-Tucker, he's interesting. He's 6'4", but he's got a 7'1" wingspan. So he plays big, and he's powerful.
Our guys project Horton-Tucker as a potential top 20 NBA pick.
He's not. He's not. He's not playing well lately. He's got to stay around for a while.
Jayhawks throws it away. And finally, we've got a whistle with 12:53 to go in the first half. Iowa State looking for the season sweep of KU.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and Cadillac.
Monday over Kansas. Bob Wischusen here with Fran Fraschilla and Holly Rowe. Undefeated on Big Monday as Bill Self. And also 87-11 following a loss. And boy, was that classic Big 12 on Saturday. A winless last place West Virginia team brings a top 10 KU team to Morgantown, who ends up winning the game.
Absolutely. Look at this move.
Nice runner.
Another freshman guard out there. Abachi did not play well Saturday. He had his first 2 turnovers of the year, but he's out there quickly, and his athleticism fits this game tonight.
Abachi replaces Grimes. And our first look at Cameron Lard. Also, Lindell Wigginton on the floor for the first time for Iowa State as Lard misses from point-blank range.
Good move, tough shot. He never got his eyes on the rim. Shot that ball before he located.
Why wait? Abachi is able to knock down a three. NBA range. Horton-Tucker is able to give Iowa State the lead once again.
That is so huge. This guy was shooting 27% from behind the arc. Some exciting young talent out here.
Steal by Weiler-Babb. Nick Weiler-Babb attacks the rim and scores.
Now remember, Iowa State went to a sold-out Texas Tech last Wednesday night and came away with the win. It's just a little different in here, but they are certainly, this moment's not too big so far.
Garrett off balance, yes.
He's averaging about 18 a game in his last 2, and most of it is downhill drives.
From the corner. And Gerald Vick barrels his way into Horton-Tucker, and Horton-Tucker is called for his second foul. Well, there is a Canadian pipeline of talent that finds its way to Ames.
Mario Shayok, they have had a tremendous impact on this program. One of my great memories covering Iowa State, Melvin Edgham's final home game in Hilton Coliseum. They not only played the United States national anthem, but they played "O Canada" in his honor. And our buddies up north have certainly had an impact on that Iowa State program.
You know, it's a treat. Go see a game at the Molson Center, which I think it's still the Molson Center, and hear the Canadian national anthem in French. Then you're really doing it right.
A lot of people think that Steve Nash, who was a great player, 2-time MVP, was the impetus for this incredible pipeline. But basketball really took off in Canada when Vince Carter became a Toronto Raptor.
Lawson loses it to Weiler-Babb.
Well, there are a lot of Canadians playing basketball in college right now. 8 Canadians on top 25 rosters right now, most notably R.J. Barrett at Duke. But the new #1 team in the country, Tennessee, has a Canadian, Kyle Tucker. Horton-Tucker. Virginia Tech has one as well, and Mikel Alexander. But the thing that's really cool is R.J. Barrett actually played with Lindell Wigginton on Team Canada. So a big pipeline is working in college basketball. 12 Canadians in the NBA right now. So, oh, Canada, it is a really good pipeline. And we love it because a lot of them come through the Big 12.
Abaji traveled. Why do you think that is, Fran? Why has, especially in the Toronto area and the Toronto suburbs, it seems like there are great players coming out of those prep school programs around there every year?
Well, it started with the Raptors and Vince Carter, no question. And then it's the fourth, I think it's still the fourth largest city in North America. And they've got a great population of immigrants from the Caribbean, from Africa, other places. They're athletic and they love the game, and the talent level is there. We can argue that Toronto may have as good a basketball at the high school level as any place in North America.
Dotson attacks, and he will go to the free throw line. And Cam Lard just picked up his second. So now Lard and Taylor Horton-Tucker both have 2 for Iowa State.
Can't wait to get to Toronto. The first couple of Molsons are on my Canadian basketball friends when I get there for that little commercial.
I'd lean towards having a blue, but, you know, tomato, tomato. It's amazing how silent this place gets when there's a Jayhawk at the free throw line, as Michael Jacobson, who already has 4 points and 5 rebounds, will come on now that Lard is in foul trouble. One-point game.
Little token three-quarter court pressure just to throw a different wrinkle at Iowa State. 3 freshmen on the court for Kansas.
They leave Halliburton wide open in the corner, and he makes them pay.
That's his spot. He had a couple key ones right there in that first meeting. He's got that unusual shot. He slings it from the hip.
Garrett gets going downhill and can't be stopped.
It's really interesting. With 4 guards out there for Iowa State, he is still a problem to handle.
Weiler-Babb lost his shoe and lost the ball. Dotson crosses over, finishes with the left hand. Weiler-Babb blew a tire, and his shoe's in the front court.
Wrong guy to blow it on, because we just saw the fastest guy in the Big 12.
And a timeout is going to have to be called by Steve Prohm, because he's got Weiler-Babb out there with only 1 shoe on. Tied at 24, 8:19 to go in the first half on Big Monday. And Jayhawks and Lawson.
They really have, and we knew this last year. Both coaches told us a year ago, maybe the best player on my team is the guy that's sitting out. By the way, coaches say that all the time. You know, the best player on my team is the guy we recruited. He's coming in next year. But in this case, it is true. They've proven it throughout the year, and they're off to good starts tonight.
Charlie Moore on for the first time in place of Devon Dotson. And he runs at Halliburton. Bullets one underneath. No look to Jacobson.
They don't even play Halliburton at the point. But Steve Prohm told us today, he is a great passer. He's a 6'5" Monte Morris.
Abaji off balance. Walked before drawing a foul. And an SEC-ACC doubleheader, highlighting Super Tuesday on ESPN. Number 22 Mississippi State and number 8 Kentucky get us started at 7 Eastern, and then the Zoo will welcome Zion and number 2 Duke. It's Duke against Pitt to cap Super Tuesday. Both games live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere tomorrow night.
He may not be the coach of the year in the ACC, but Jeff Capel has resurrected the Pitt program.
Foul called at midcourt. And that'll be on Weiler-Babb. That's his first.
Well, during that last timeout, Iowa State coach Steve Prohm was really on his team to do a better job protecting the paint. He said they've been in the paint too much. We have no rim protection right now, pointing out that Jacobson has 2 fouls, so he said you have to do a better job of keeping them out. He said that also includes rebounding. They're getting to too many loose balls, and then he talked to them about being a little quicker on their switches, Fran. This might be something good for you. He said the switches are too soft. I need you to jump to your switch. Have a little more energy on that switching defensively.
Yeah, you don't want to switch out of convenience. You want to switch to keep the pressure on the defense. And you got to switch so that you don't get slipped either.
Lawson sets up Abaji. Got another three.
Remember they needed outside shooting a couple weeks ago? He gives you the athleticism, the defense, and that shooting touch.
Jayhawks accelerates, but fouled on the floor as he began the drive. Abaji ends up with an open look because everyone's paying attention to Dedrick Lawson.
Absolutely. Watch the ball go in. Watch all the jerseys converge. And eventually the scouting report is going to say, we'll play off of Garrett, maybe Grimes at times, but we don't play off of Abaji or Vic. He's got to prove it still.
Wigginton to the corner. Horton-Tucker hits another three.
I'll tell you what I like about that. Steve Prohm is very conservative about playing his guys with 2 fouls because they have a lot of depth. He's stuck with Horton-Tucker, and he rewarded him. He's got 11 now.
Grimes to the baseline. Comes up short. Here comes Horton-Tucker.
You just saw the 7-1 wingspan.
Weiler-Babb tries a three. Gets the roll. 5 made threes here in the first half for Iowa State. They're back up.
You settle it on the court. Oh, my.
Well, the main event of the Big 12 SEC Challenge, of course, is going to be Kansas and Kentucky. But a sneaky good game between Ole Miss and Iowa State. Iowa State, in a 4-game stretch, got 3 ranked teams all on the road.
Absolutely. They've already knocked off Texas Tech. They got Oklahoma State at home. This game tonight. And then Kermit Davis, you talk about Coach of the Year in the SEC. Right now, hands down, it is the Ole Miss's Kermit Davis.
Shot fake by Abaji. Short. Gets his own miss. Lawson double team. Vic throws it right past Garrett, right to Dotson. Abaji from the corner. Horton-Tucker. NBA range again, off the mark. Long rebound to Jacobson, but he threw it away.
I talked to Michael Jacobson today. He's the other transfer. He transferred from Nebraska. I said, you average 5 points a game there in 2 years. Your scoring's up. I said, why? He said, last year, Mariel Shayok and I, all we did was play one-on-one. And he was an inside guy at Nebraska. We've talked about that mid-range. It's really improved.
Garrett accelerates, gets to the rim. He had a coming out party last Big Monday against Texas, where he scored a career-high 20, and he already has 6 here in the first half.
I tell you, he's got a couple really good years coming. The fans are going to embrace Marcus Garrett like they've you know what I mean? They love him.
I always know what you mean.
They love him.
Shayok, you know what he means. 3 from the corner.
Now, Marcus Garrett, Bill Self said, we can't take him off the court.
Spin move by Lawson. And the finger roll. How pretty was that?
Living up to the billing, Bob. Living up to the billing.
It's been a high quality of play here in the first half. Horton-Tucker drives it, plus the foul. Went right at the freshman Abaji.
He's got that combination of Power, speed, quickness. Watch this strength right now. He's already hit a couple threes. Now he powers it to the rim. One of the best players in Illinois a year ago. What a get for Steve Prohm. He's got a terrific four-man recruiting class. We know about Halliburton, Horton-Tucker, but Condit, Griffin are going to be very good players as well.
Horton-Tucker's got a grown man game. He is anything but. He turned 18 Thanksgiving week.
Isn't that crazy?
He showed up, barely got his driver's license and showed up at Iowa State.
He did all that work in Maui. He was just turning 18. Had a great Maui Invitational.
Dotson, just off the rim.
Nice pass.
Jacobson, shot fake, fouls. Great look from Wigginton to set up Michael Jacobson, who will shoot free throws when we come back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet? And Boost Mobile. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
% of their shots, so they almost want you to be out there where you contest those threes because they've got a team full of drivers. Let's see what Bill Self. How about this? They go zone. They know Bill Self very sneaky out of timeouts. Switch to a zone for the first time. Little cat and mouse. Key to the zone offense is Garrett in the middle most of the time.
Garrett will attack the middle and gets blocked by Jacobson. Crowd wanted to travel. Instead, Shayok gets to the rim, but he's off the mark. Another rebound for Dedrick Lawson.
More zone. Got to locate Vic.
Lawson spins in the lane. Great touch.
We've watched him for a half a season, Bob, and he's basically unstoppable inside one-on-one because he's got a variety of moves and counter moves to the defense.
Weiler-Babb attacks and scores.
Smart play. He knows Lawson's got one, can't afford two. That's a fifth-year senior.
Lawson faces up. He's got another.
Yep, how do you guard that? I think the best way to guard him in the post is double it out of his hands.
Already 15 first-half points for Dedrick Lawson, and a rare Iowa State turnover. Good hands getting back on defense, Horton-Tucker, or else Dotson might have had a wide-open three.
Watch Lawson in the middle of the zone. Spin, jump hook, good defense, can't stop it. And then this really is tough. Jacobson, no answer in that mid-range. Can't double him in that mid-range as easily.
Horton-Tucker to the bench, so now it's Halliburton and Wigginton in the backcourt. Weiler-Babb as well.
Yeah, Cyclones back to man.
Left hand for Dotson, rolls it home.
He loves going left. He's good going right. Great going left.
Jacobson double team. Tied up. Ball. It belongs to KU.
Remember we said how important the big man is in the offense tonight because of the mismatches? They got it inside, but KU converged on the ball. They did a nice job without fouling.
and how important the crowd is. This crowd senses, you know what, let's just dial it up as Vic tries one from the corner. That's off the mark, and see if we can change the game with a minute to go in the half.
They've only done that since 1955. You know, this is just an amazing place. Absolutely right.
Must have been fun for you to be here back then.
Yeah. Very much like Hilton, this crowd doesn't let the team get down.
Wigginton, backdoor to Jayhawks. That's goaltending on Grimes.
Now the benefit there, not only did they get the basket, they went quick enough that they should get the last possession if they get a stop or the defensive rebound.
Dotson off to Vic. That was a 2-for-1 opportunity set up for Kansas. Here comes Wigginton. Finds Jacobson running rim to rim.
What a pass.
Shayok off the feed from Halliburton. Offensive foul. That's his first.
Solid right there. Lawson sees it coming. Playing with one, but that was a pretty good decision.
So it will be Kansas that can hold for one. Iowa State with 9 first-half turnovers. They only average 10.5 turnovers per game, fewest in the Big 12. So a little sloppy at times in the first half, but they still have a 5-point lead. Vic has the entry pass knocked away. Weiler-Babb can't bank it home. The follow for Halliburton. Did he beat the buzzer? The officials say no, but they will go to the monitor to see.
I thought he had it in his hand. The good news is you go check it and get the definitive call.
What a great hustle play, though, by Tyrese Halliburton.
Take a look.
Very close. Let's check in with Holly.
Coach, 6 threes from Iowa State in that first half. What has to change with your perimeter defense?
Well, we can, you know, it's the ball screen stuff that's bothering us, and so we're not doing a good job with that, and we've got some bad closeouts and some late closeouts, but we got to do a better job of keeping the ball in front of us and, of course, getting to their shooters.
So the ball screen stuff, how do you want to try to fix that?
We'll talk about it right now.
You won't tell me?
No.
Good try, Holly. 5-point lead for Iowa State over Kansas at halftime. Now back to the studio with the halftime report. Our favorite Canadian import. For the season sweep of Kansas, they have to win at Allen Fieldhouse to get it done. They've got a 5-point lead on Big Monday. Ready for the start of the second half. Bob Wischusen, Fran Fraschilla. Holly Rowe will join us in just a moment. 53% from the field in the first half for Iowa State. Their efficiency continues to be a recipe for success.
It really has. And remember, they didn't play great defense, which is why they don't have a bigger lead, but they've caused problems for Kansas.
How about from plan to play, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Interesting coaching adjustments going to have to come in the second half for Bill Self.
That's right. Because of the 4-guard offense, anytime you ball screen with a big man like Jacobson, Dedrick Lawson at times in the first half was in no man's land. So watch, Jacobson is going to screen and slip right to the basket. His man, Lawson, is not sure whether to stay on Shayok or get back to Jacobson. He does neither. Bill Self told Holly Rowe they would figure out what some adjustments to make in the second half. I don't think you could trap the ball screen, but I wouldn't be surprised if they switch at all 5 spots for at least a little while. That means he's got to play out on the floor. There's that switch we talked about.
Horton-Tucker, off-balance step back. Not there, but Shayok has the rebound, steps on the end line. And let's check in with Holly.
The State Coach Steve Prohm at the half, and he said that Dedrick Lawson has been a problem. He said he's got more points in the first half than he had the entire meeting last time we met them in Ames. He said we have to make it harder for him to catch the ball, but the most important thing he wanted his team to focus on was guarding the dribble better. He said dribble penetration is killing us. Too many points in the paint for Iowa State that they are allowing.
Isn't that funny? Same thing both ways. That's what happens when you play 8 guards.
Vic can't hit the three. Horton-Tucker blocked.
Saw an example right there between Weiler-Babb, Halliburton, Tucker, Jayhawks. They can all handle the ball off a defensive rebound.
Jayhawks, quick trigger. And Abaji, who gets the start here in the second half in place of Quentin Grimes, got that rebound. Dotson gets to the rim, and the tip follow is there for Lawson. He's got 17.
Dotson gets the assist, although not on the stat sheet. His speed makes it really causes problems for defenses.
Weiler-Babb with 7 to shoot. Jayhawks 3 to shoot. Drives it and scores just as the shot clock was about to expire.
There's another drive to the basket.
Lawson picks up his dribble. Double team. He's in trouble. 8 on the shot clock. And now a 5 count. A turnover for Kansas.
That time those guards, they're faking in, out, and when he picked up his dribble, they pounced. And they took away his vision to the weak side. I'll tell you what, Weiler-Babb has been ineffective tonight because Dotson has not given him any breathing room out top.
Jacobson comes up short. Garrett spins in the lane, hits the underside of the rim. Horton-Tucker, a size mismatch, and he baits Dotson into his first foul. And our NBA Wednesday doubleheader this week starts off in Philly with the Spurs and the Sixers. Then we head to Salt Lake for the Nuggets and Jazz. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 on ESPN and the ESPN app. Think the Sixers will get it together?
They got too much talent. They don't have the bench they had a year ago. They lost Bellinelli, they lost Ilyasova. The starters are good. Chemistry's not good.
Abaji's got the rebound.
Well, I checked in, speaking of the NBA, with the Denver Nuggets starting point guard Monte Morris, and he's done a really good job keeping in touch with this team. He said he texted Coach Prohm earlier this season and said, I hate to admit this, but this team is young. They might be better than we were back in the day. He has been in touch with Tyrese Halliburton. Every time he has a good game, Monte Morris is trying to stay connected and give him a shout out. So I like that Monte sees the talent and he's like, they might have us here.
Ty praise.
These guys remind me of when you go to see a high school game and you watch the freshman team and you go, wow, these guys are going to be good someday.
Right.
These guys are like that team that won 3 titles in the tournament. They're just a new group of guys.
And now they have their largest lead here at the Phog, 47-39, Iowa State. And on Saturday, the SEC Big 12 Challenge. It'll start at noon on both ESPN and ESPN2. That K-State Texas A&M game is where you will hear Fran Fraschilla. I'll be calling the West Virginia-Tennessee game in Knoxville as Tennessee is the new #1. Of course, it all leads up to the main event, and that's Kansas-Kentucky at 6 Eastern.
I mentioned what a great job Kermit Davis has done at Ole Miss. How about Rick Barnes resurrecting Tennessee basketball the last 3 seasons? One of those teams that you know can get to Minneapolis.
Lawson faces up, connects.
Wow. How do you guard him? He has been so efficient all season long.
He's got his 13th double-double, tied for #1 in America. Foul on the floor on the drive by Horton-Tucker. Well, Lawrence has been a home to civil rights dating back to Civil War days. And we will tie it all together with the
upper balcony, the last 3 rows when they would go to see movies in many theaters here in Lawrence, Kansas. And it was Wilt Chamberlain of the basketball team, Homer Floyd of the football team, and then 2 track and field athletes, Charlie Tidwell and Ernie Shelby. They went to the chancellor of Kansas University and said, we have to have more to do here socially. We cannot be treated this way in the community. Wilt Chamberlain very famously took a date, sat down in the front row of the movie theaters, and somebody said, you have to move, sir. And he said, no, I don't. They all 4 became the first African-American team captains ever in Kansas basketball history, football history, and track and field history. So very neat to see that athletes back in the 1950s raising their voice to the administrators to be treated better in Lawrence, Kansas.
And Howie, Wilt Chamberlain stayed away from Lawrence for many years, but I remember back in 1998 when he came back to the field house, and at halftime, Max Falkenstein, the great announcer, introduced him to this crowd, and Wilt broke down and cried. And he said he let his teammates down, not winning that 57 championship, but he did so much more for desegregation in this part of the country.
Well, doing a lot for the crowd here at Allen Fieldhouse is LeGerald Vick with a triple, and we've got a 3-point game. Halliburton can't answer. Lard saves it. Jump ball. Won by Lawson. Knocked down Wigginton. Numbers for Kansas. Dotson left alone in the corner. Comes up way short.
Got numbers.
Halliburton skipped past to Wigginton. Weiler-Babb for 3. Foul on Lard. That's his 3rd.
I thought Iowa State had 2 or 3 opportunities to shoot without shot faking, and by the time Weiler-Babb let it go, he shot it with no confidence.
Lawson spins, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Bill Self's found a mismatch. Cam Lard is used to playing in the low paint, not at the elbow. So Bill Self takes advantage of that versatility that we've talked about all night long with Dedrick Lawson.
And Cameron Lard picks up his 4th. He missed 7 games because of a violation of team rules. Then sprained his ankle against Baylor, missed a couple of more games. And Steve Prohm said earlier today, to max out as a team, we need this guy. He really is our best legit rim protector. We have to have him as part of what we do. He's got 4 fouls now, so we'll see what he can give Steve Prohm in the last 14 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. They played the freshman Condit as well, but not tonight. This would be a tough spot for him if Jacobson gets in foul trouble.
Weiler-Babb forces the issue. Fouled on the drive on the floor. That's Abaji's 4th. So now the impact freshman off the bench for Bill Self has 4. That'll get KJ Lawson up.
Again, watch now. Off that ball screen that started this play, it opens up the court, and Weiler-Babb, the 5th-year senior, just takes the freshman right to the paint. There's a switch we talked about. Big on little.
Weiler-Babb double team. Jayhawks. Weiler-Babb with 5 to shoot. Sets up Jayhawks for 3. Yes!
That all happened again because Lawson was stuck out on the perimeter, and it discombobulated the Kansas defense.
Dotson, hesitation dribble, the acceleration not there. Lawson tries again and scores again. 20 and 13 for Dedrick Lawson. Iowa State with a timeout. 22 and 13, pardon me, for Dedrick Lawson.
And watch this last basket, Bob. This is pure effort. There's no skill here. This is want to, once, twice, and then the hand development around the rim. He shot it with his left hand, and then he made it with his right hand.
Well, one of the reasons he's moving better around the rim, he's down over 20 pounds since he came to Kansas. He has totally transformed the way his body looked. Look at the pictures on the left. This is him when he got here in August of 2017. 20 pounds lighter, much more muscle mass. He has really affected change. He said, you know, I'm moving better. I can have better longevity, and the way he did it was cutting out fried foods and hot chips. So everybody who knows what hot chips are, he's not eating them anymore. But he really thinks that Andrea, who is the strength and conditioning coach here, has done a great job transforming his body. And it's showing up tonight, 22 points, and he's been pretty much unstoppable for Iowa State.
You think if you and I stayed here for a few weeks, we could drop 20 pounds, Bob?
I'm not giving up the hot chips.
I like my hot chips too much. There you see Andrea Hootie, the great strength coach here. Bill Self brought her on from the University of Connecticut. And the players through the years rave about her.
Wigginton still looking for his first points of the game. Can't knock it down. It'll stay with the Cyclones. Wigginton finds Halliburton, and it looked like he passed up a layup. Step back 3, Horton-Tucker. That's good.
That's amazing. How about Taylor Horton-Tucker? Coming into tonight, 27% from the three-point line. By far the most points he scored in a Big 12 game this year.
He leads all Big 12 freshmen in scoring. Vic, too easy. Wigginton finds Jacobson, but he shuffled his feet. Took an extra step.
And they had the ball screen. They had Lawson out on the floor, but Jacobson did shuffle those feet.
Iowa State now with 11 turnovers. That's a little past what they average per game. Moving screen set by Lawson. That's his second foul.
That's the second personal foul. That's the 4th team foul on Kansas.
3 pretty good teams out here tonight. And they all have to be sharp the last 12 minutes.
Horton-Tucker is bumped by Garrett. 5 team fouls for Kansas with 11:48 to go. 4-point game on Big Monday. Moved to 4-2 with that win when they eventually outlast West Virginia.
Makai Mason, the rare graduate transfer who committed to Baylor before his final year at Yale. And remember, he dropped 31 on Baylor in the NCAA tournament, which is how that connection all started. Short.
Air ball thrown up by Horton-Tucker. Garrett bullies his way to the basket. Wigginton. Down low to Jacobson. Bumped by Lawson.
Watch
That's
this.
the third on Lawson.
Take a look, Bob. Now those guards switched. And watch Garrett. He still gets downhill. There you see Horton-Tucker. And this is where Marcus Garrett has made this huge jump in the last 3 or 4 games. His ability to score. We saw the 3 for 3 last week from behind the arc, right? To start that Texas game. But his best offensive attribute is getting to the basket.
Lindell Wigginton still scoreless. 0 for 4 from the field. Hit the underside of the rim with that one. Vick throws a wild one up, and he gets fouled. Well, it's time now for our Capital One fan vote. And you can participate and tell us, who do you think ought to be #1 in college basketball? Head to twitter.com/SportsCenter to vote. Duke and Tennessee. I guess it's a debate between those two schools. The Prom kids there over there. They're registering their vote, but what do you think? Duke off that loss to Syracuse?
I like Tennessee.
Even with a win over Virginia, should have fallen from the #1 spot?
Yeah, Tennessee's got 1 loss in overtime in Brooklyn to this Kansas team. And not that it matters much, but I'd give it to Tennessee right now. Only the 2nd time in their history they've been ranked #1.
Tied up midway through the 2nd half on Big Monday. Step back 3 again for Horton-Tucker. Garrett's got the long rebound. A chance for KU to take the lead. There's the lob. And the finish by Vick. Wow.
Well, this started because of a long jump shot that led to the long rebound. And then Gerald Vick, smelling the opportunity to beat that Cyclone defense down the floor, does just that. Dotson always puts pressure on the defense in the open court. And that time the transition D was lacking.
Today at shoot-around in the final moments, Steve Prohm gathered his team together and gave them a list of things that they had to pay attention to tonight. The #1 thing that he talked about, no lobs. He knows how that fires up this Kansas Jayhawk crowd. That's the first we've seen tonight. He said the other thing that was important, he's not going to take no turnovers, and he didn't want them taking gambles. No gambles, no turnovers, no lobs. That was the formula he thought would work. But that lob right there, getting the crowd fired up, not in the menu.
Now, here's what has to be on the menu. Kansas has 6 fouls. Iowa State is a driving team. They must get to the basket and not settle for those long contested jump shots.
Shayok for 3. A long jump shot instead of going to the basket. KJ Lawson tries to go to the basket, and a reach-in foul called on Horton-Tucker. That's his 3rd. It's an SEC-ACC doubleheader on Super Tuesday tomorrow night here on ESPN. Mississippi State, Kentucky gets us started at 7 Eastern, and then Zion Williamson and #2 Duke head to the Zoo to take on Pitt. Both games live tomorrow night on the ESPN app as well, so you can watch anywhere. The jump hook off the window for Lawson extends the KU lead.
He has a lot of Marcus Morris in his game.
Horton-Tucker way off the mark. Wigginton among the trees, draws a foul. It looks like that will be KJ Lawson called for his 1st.
I mean, I don't know how he makes this, but he's been making it all year. Watch this. They take away his spin move, and he comes back. That's what I mean by a counter move. Everybody in the arena knows he loves that baseline spin, but like a good baseball pitcher with a fastball, you gotta have a curveball.
He's got as many 20 and 10 games by himself as the entire rest of the league has in total.
Dedrick Lawson took that loss at West Virginia very personally. He said, I was sick to my stomach. I stayed up last night and watched that game 3 times. He said, I could not let my team down again, and he hasn't so far tonight.
Neither is Marcus Garrett.
This matchup right here, underrated all night long. Dotson.
Weiler-Babb for 3. Dotson on a run out. Leans in. Lawson lost it. Jacobson cleans it up and outlets to Wigginton, who's still looking to score for the first time. Loses his dribble, and it looks like a foul has been called. And that's going to be on Wigginton. Wigginton to the bench as he has struggled all night. KJ Lawson, jump stop, scores.
Iowa State rattled. They are rattled right now. It starts out top with Dotson on Weiler-Babb.
It's a 14-0 Kansas run. Horton-Tucker leans in. Fouled on his way to the basket. And it looks like that'll be KJ Lawson again, his second. And that will put Horton-Tucker at the line to shoot 1-1.
And that's what you have to be aware of, Bob. The jump shot's not going. They're in the bonus. You got these guards that have the ability to get downhill, play that way. Not as easy as it looks.
16 tonight for Horton-Tucker. The first time he's been in double figures in his last 7 games. But he can't hit the front end of the 1-1. And then Michael Jacobson is rung up for a foul. Dotson. The tip follow. KJ Lawson not there. Dedrick Lawson lost it. And Halliburton is going to press. Shayok. Back outside. Horton-Tucker. The long rebound to Shayok.
They're playing 100 miles an hour right now.
And taking a lot of threes.
Absolutely. They're rattled.
Foul on the floor. And once again, it looks like that's KJ Lawson as he's picked up his 3rd. Kansas has turned on the Jets here in the second half.
To you in Kansas.
All right, Allison, thanks very much. Bob Wischusen here with Fran Fraschilla and Holly Rowe. The second half of our big Monday doubleheader. And some Iowa State fans hoping that their team off that timeout and whatever Steve Prohm told them in the huddle turns this game around, but they have shot 20% from the field in the second half. Big free throws from Shayok to keep this game alive for the Cyclones. 7.5 to go.
It feels like they're down 20, but that's because they had a huge lead they gave away. They're only down 6. But they've got to get better shots, and they have to attack the basket. Kansas defense in the second half, absolutely outstanding. Zone now by Iowa State.
And Abaji back in with the 4 fouls. Shot clock at 7. Garrett
Look at this guy.
Through the zone and finishes.
Everybody knows he's driving because you got to give him the jump shot. He's just murder. Sometimes when you back off a guy, you give him the momentum to pick up speed to go to the basket.
Double team on Jacobson in the corner. And he throws it cross court, finds Jayhawks, and he's fouled by Abaji, and Abaji's done.
Cyclones very fortunate that Jacobson didn't throw it away. There's the hustle by Abaji.
So Ochai Abaji, the Kansas City freshman, fouls out. And that will bring Quentin Grimes back in, I believe, for the first time in the second half.
Well, he's 0 for 4, and he's only played 15 minutes tonight. The good news is he should be pretty fresh.
18 for Shayok.
Little three-quarter court. Usually they'll go back to zone. Got to be careful of lobs here.
Lawson with the shot clock winding down. Comes up short with the hook. And it looks like a foul is going to be called on Iowa State. That's going to be Horton-Tucker, and that'll be his fourth.
He didn't block Garrett out from the backside. And Garrett, who's just about everywhere on the court. I think the greatest compliment a player can get is when your coach says, we can't play without him. And that's how Bill Self feels about this sophomore at the line right now.
Rebound for Lard, who just checked back in. He's got 4 fouls. Wigginton still scoreless. He's back in the game as well. 6 minutes to go. Halliburton down the lane, hangs and hits.
That was well done. They went inside, kick out, stretched the defense, drove it.
Lawson across the lane. Yes.
That jump hook's like a feather.
26 and 14 for Lawson. Wigginton lost it. Nightmare night for Wigginton continues. Garrett wanted to attack the rim, and Halliburton got a piece without fouling.
It's a big stop for Iowa State. Cannot win this game if they can't get a couple more stops. It's been too easy playing through Lawson.
Garrett wants to drive again. He'll score again. Lard fouls out.
Uncanny. The problem is he goes both ways with the same force. Right to the rim, draws the contact. And a guy who is arguably the best all-around defensive player in the league certainly has become recently an offensive weapon.
Cam Lard fouled out in 6 minutes.
See, they're switching. That was the adjustment Bill Self made. It's been gold
Jayhawks for three. Big shot for the Cyclones. Keeps them in the game, down 5 with 4:20 to go. Dotson. Yes.
Man. Wow. He's got a left hand like Sandy Koufax.
Wigginton tries again. Finally knocks one down. And Steve Prohm wants a timeout. No timeouts left for Iowa State. 3:46 to go. They're down by 4 here on Big Monday.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Try to trim the beard. The top 5 moments from his historic stretch. Plus the one threat to Tom Brady's quest for Ring 6. Steve Levy, John Anderson, SportsCenter after the game.
Iowa State had an 8-point lead. Kansas has completely flipped the script in the second half. And Fran, they've done it by attacking the rim.
Absolutely. When we talk about 22 points in the paint in the second half, it doesn't mean post play necessarily. It's the guards driving. It's the alley-oops in transition. And of course, it's Dedrick Lawson in the low paint. It's crazy. Feels like Kansas has taken an insurmountable lead. They're only up 4, and they have not closed out games lately. Keep that in mind, Bob. Oh, they didn't switch it.
Dick's pass deflected. Here's Shayok. Chance to make it a one-possession game. Shayok to the corner. Wigginton for 3. KJ Lawson has his pocket picked by Shayok. Crowd wanted a foul call.
I just think you got to attack the paint unless it's a wide open 3. Kansas in the double bonus.
They go to Jacobson with a size advantage on Lawson, or on Dotson, pardon me. And a foul called.
Let's watch now. This is the previous play. And Shayok just coming from behind. He comes up with that ball.
At the line, shooting 2, Michael Jacobson.
Terrible night at the free throw line for Iowa State. They are now 6 for 12. One of 2 for Jacobson. One possession game, 2:50 to go.
Kansas led West Virginia by 6 with under 4. Did not score.
Jacobson jumps in front of Lawson. Halliburton gets downhill to Jacobson for the tie.
He spent all last year playing one-on-one against a guard, Shayok. He had to improve his perimeter game. Not bad timing.
A 7-0 run for Iowa State when you thought the KU Avalanche was going to bury them. How about this response by the Cyclones?
Well, what I love about this, what do they got to do? Play downhill. The drive draws the defender, and that's the kind of open 3 you want to get. Not the contested one, but the drive and kick 3. Well done.
Michael Jacobson is from Iowa, but he wasn't offered a basketball scholarship to go to Iowa State. when he was coming out of high school, he was offered a football scholarship by Paul Rhodes, but he decided his heart was at basketball. He ended up going to Nebraska to play hoops, but he found his way back to the Cyclones. He said he's grown so much. He said, basketball is the love of my life. It's my whole life. Football was something I do, but my heart is in this game, and we're seeing his heart tonight against the Jayhawks.
It's a great point, Holly, and in that first month of the season, when the Cyclones played without 4 regulars, he really held the fort down inside, and now he becomes a great complementary piece, Bob, to the rest of this explosive offense.
In 2 years at Nebraska, he had a high of 13 points. He's averaging 13 for the Cyclones. So the 8-point lead for Kansas is gone, but now they're backed up by 3 as Vic hits from deep. Jayhawks drives it and finishes. 1-point game.
Bill Self orchestrating everything now from the sideline. No transition. Get the ball to your best players.
Dotson away from the screen. Too strong. Jayhawks to Wigginton. Throws it away.
I think Jayhawks, that was the problem. He threw it to Wigginton on the move. Yeah, you just can't do that. You got to throw a pass and sight the receiver. What a break for Kansas.
Garrett has been unstoppable on the drive. He gets going downhill. It's like automatic buckets.
You know the beauty of this? Kansas had 2 offensive weapons first half of the season. Vic and Lawson. Yeah, sometimes Grimes and Dotson, but this guy is a completely different dimension to that offense. That's his one Achilles heel.
Stays a 1-possession game. Coming up on a minute to go. Backdoor cut, Wigginton. Can't throw it down. Net at the rim. Jacobson with a follow. And he draws the foul. Oh, Lawson, come over and guard the rim.
Oh, man. Watch the athleticism of Wigginton. And that's unbelievable. What a job this guy, Dedrick Lawson, has done all season. He's not as explosive as Williamson and R.J. Barrett, but in terms of production, there are a few that equal what he's done.
Grimes in for K.J. Lawson.
If they cut this to 1, it's eerily like what happened on Saturday, where Kansas is going to give Iowa State a chance to get that ball back one more time.
1 of 2 at the line, so it's a 2-point game.
And remember yesterday at practice, Bill Self, after Saturday's debacle, they spent a lot of time in the final 30 seconds of the game at practice.
$10 to shoot. 25 to go. Lawson for 3. Yes! Here's Jayhawks. 19 seconds to go. Step back 2. Connects. No timeouts for Iowa State. So they have to press.
Quick
15
trap.
seconds
Yep,
to go.
Quick trap and then foul.
And they trap, but immediately foul. So it will be Devon Dotson to shoot at the other end.
This guy, unbelievable. 21% from behind the arc, but he's been clutch. Rhythm 3.
Double bonus. 2 shots for Dotson. And he just needs to make one to completely change the complexion of the last 14 seconds.
Yeah,
79% at the line, but misses the front end.
Bill Self has a timeout left. He might use it if he makes this free throw. Otherwise, he's got to think about fouling.
Not the second. And there's the timeout called by Bill Self. So it's a 4-point game. 14 seconds to go. Bob Shoes and Fran Fraschilla, Holly Rowe having another fun night here at the Fog. If you're Iowa State, you've been taking contested threes throughout the second half. Hasn't worked. How do you attack this possession?
You still can go for the quick 2 or the drive and kick 3. But Bill Self wasn't born yesterday. He is going to pick up at least 3/4 court and explain to his team that we're not going to foul, but you just don't want the ball to go end-to-end quickly. They have guards, Iowa State, that can go coast to coast in 4 seconds. So if they score a quick 2, you still got a lot of time to set up your press and foul. Bill Self knows this. I would expect them to see some pressure without fouling.
And you have to deal with this crowd. What an atmosphere. Here we go. 14 seconds to go. How quickly can Iowa State score?
Yep, little pressure.
Weiler-Babb goes to the rim, leans in, too strong. The follow, not there either, but Halliburton was fouled with 7.5 seconds to go. So the freshman, 69% so far this season. He's at the line. 3rd foul on Dotson. Neither team has helped themselves at the free throw line tonight.
He makes the second. They have foul immediately. They put Kansas back on the foul line. Put a guy at the sub table so you can set up your defense.
And here comes Horton-Tucker.
Really don't have time to trap now, Bob, unless they just throw it to you. Time is of the essence. Quick foul. And you don't have a choice either.
Garrett can run the baseline. Hits it into Dotson. And a foul called on Horton-Tucker. That's his 5th, so he is done. And Horton-Tucker seemed surprised by the foul. If they didn't call the foul, Dotson would have gotten loose, might have dribbled out most of the rest of the clock.
I was surprised that he didn't foul immediately. So now Bill Self, neither team has a timeout now. And if you're Iowa State, you have to hope there's one miss. I think Bill Self, if it's a 3-point game, is going to foul. He said to us today he didn't feel with these young guards he did enough teaching this season. Yesterday, as Holly Rowe pointed out, all teaching late game situations.
Sports Center, as soon as we're done, here in Lawrence. Now the big one for Dotson.
I always like leaving my offensive guys on the line. It was more comfortable for the shooter, but they can't move and they don't need to get an offensive rebound.
buzzer free throws for Devon Dotson. And now Iowa State needs a miracle, down 2 scores with 5.9 seconds to go.
No fouls if you're Kansas.
Jacobson with the catch. Shayok looking for a 4-point play. Throws it over the backboard.
That's great strategy by Steve Prohm, because the ball moves quicker than the dribble, and it was the only chance he could give his team to advance the ball up the court and potentially get a 4-point play.
So Kansas will survive and avoid the season sweep of Iowa State and stay at the top of the Big 12 standings. As we take a look at our player of the game, brought to you by Phillips 66. This guy could be the player of the game almost any night that Kansas plays. Another monster effort for Dietrich Lawson. 29 points and 15 rebounds. 80-76 is your final. Kansas is able to bounce back from the Saturday loss at West Virginia and get back on track with a win over Iowa State. For Fran Fraschilla and Holly Rowe, I'm Bob Wischusen. So long from Lawrence. It's time for sports.